What is the meaning of work? Hello guys and welcome back to this new video. Today we are going to talk about what is the actual meaning of work. Now, 1 in 4 adults actually employed is eligible for food stamps, and 60% of the manufactured companies are overseas. 1 in 4 adults currently employed is eligible for food stamps. So the question is, if really we work and we work that much and we work so hard, then do we really contribute, first of all, to the market, to the labor market? And the answer is merely no. Because think about your salary, right? Your salary is going to look irrelevant if you compare that salary to that of a drug lord, to that of a big drug lord, but that of a drug lord. That salary is going to be completely irrelevant if you think about the singers you have in your countries, how much they earn. So what is really your contribution? And if your contribution is that irrelevant, and assuming that you could get away with murder, right? Why not doing criminal activities? I mean, yes, there's a whole moral side to this argument, right? But this is not a question that I'm seriously considering. But what I am considering is actually a different question, which is, why do we work? Well, it's not an easy sort of answer, right? Some people might navigate life without ever working. But the idea is that work fulfills us, right? So the primary reason why we do it is because perhaps we are indoctrinated, perhaps we really feel it, but in reality, work fulfills us, right? Now we should start talking about how having a career is a sort of rat trap, right? How you get into a system and then you want to earn more money because more money gets you to have access to all different experiences, which is good, right? But at the same time, that puts the pressure on, and you'll end up having no or virtually none social life, not seeing your kids growing up and stuff like this, right? And if we think about all the different jobs that do exist, you know, we also need to think about how many of those jobs include night shifts, how night shifts impact on one's mental well-being, and how they impact on familiar and on the dynamics of the family. So if we put all of this together, the idea is, why do we work? I mean, what I said about being indoctrinated into work is because some people might like it, some people might detest it. A lot of times it does depend on the environment, and it does depend on the job that you have, right? But wouldn't you want more holidays during the year? And if you do want more holidays, and if your contribution is so irrelevant, then what is the meaning of us working? Again, there's a profound meaning, in the sense that work keeps us entrenched and rooted in daily life. That a lot of people, without working, they might go in obscure areas of their mind, or just getting low and a low mood. And that is important because work fills us. And the way it feels, you might think it's positive. You might also think it's negative. I mean, there are certainly downsides to that. For instance, you know, not developing the ability of being alone with oneself, or the understanding that if you do work all the time like that, then you don't have personal time. And personal time is important in life if you want to grow spiritually, if you want to grow as a person, if you want to understand better the world. One might argue, well, you just need to find the right balance. Yes. That is very nice as an explanation. However, do you think that what you have is a good balance? And I'm not judging, but I'm saying, for instance, I don't have any in that sense. So what is the idea here? Why do we work? Well, when the Great Recession hit, We talked about newspapers, journalists, media, press, talked about this idea that this wasn't just an economic crisis, this was a moral crisis. Why is this a moral crisis? What work has to do with our morality or ethics? Well, the idea is that we are indoctrinated into thinking that, especially this is true for males, into thinking that to be able to prove oneself as a man, then you need to work. Not only you need to work, you need to be the breadwinner. I don't know personally many couples in which you would find the wife or the female partner earning more than a male. And that also speaks about salary gaps and whatnot. But let's think about it, right? Would a man be comfortable around a woman that earns much more than he does? Nowadays, things have a little changed in the sense that, and that still depends on the specific society we're talking about, but the idea is that money is never enough, and therefore both the genders, female and male, I'm considering the traditional genders here, do work and do contribute pretty much equally to the household. But that's just because the economic situation and how it looks, right? And that is also because it has become so much more difficult to share the same apartment with the same person of a decent amount of time, right? So everybody goes out. But besides this commentary, the idea is that the true pillar of our society has been masculinity, and has been so for an extremely long time. And the idea is that the male has to be the biggest, the greatest provider within the family. And so a man without a work, without a job, would feel a sense of deep failure. And so when we think about why we work, we need to think about our ideals. We need to think about ideals that inspire our societies. There's nothing wrong with the concept of working, but it still depends on what are your priorities. And sure, we don't get to, many times at least, we don't get to have a choice. We don't get to say, I'm gonna take 4 months of a holiday, go somewhere while I'm still being paid, right? I totally understand that. But what I'm saying right now is not take a holiday and don't go to work. But what I'm trying to say right now is, shouldn't we rethink society? Also in light of the many technological revolutions we are witnessing in our age, shouldn't we rethink society in a much more sustainable form? Shouldn't we rethink jobs and work in a different way? Well, that's all. I want to hear your comments, so let us know, comment below, and if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We're gonna talk very soon. Bye!